So, here we have cellular aberration cancer introduction. So, sinabi dito na hindi daw lahat ng cell is same. So, dahil daw nagdedepende sila sa location, sa functions, and sa shape. Although, hindi naman lahat ng cell ay same, nag-share sila ng general structures. So, yung normal human cells ay mayroong 23 pairs of chromosomes. And ang aberration naman, yun yung term na tinatawag sa deviation from normal functioning anatomy. So, nagbago yung function niya. Yung cellular aberration, yun yung group of disorders kung saan merong abnormal cell growth and ability to metastasize and patayin yung host nila or killing the host. So, yung cancer or CA, yun naman yung group of diseases kung saan nag-grow yung cell mo and nag-spread sila unrestrained or uncontrollably throughout your body. Yung term na cancer, synonymous din siya with neoplasm. So, yung cellular aberration, we have carcinogenesis. Pag sinabing carcinogenesis, itong normal cell na to is magiging neoplastic cell siya. Magiging yan, may anik na siya sa loob. Ayan. Normal cell to neoplastic cell. Kapag sinabing invasion, itong cancer cell na to, may katabi siyang tissue and mag-infiltrate siya dyan. So, invasion, cancer cell infiltrate adjacent tissue surrounding the neoplasm. Kapag metastasis naman, ay ang itong cancer cell na to is may matatanggal sa kanya na parts. Ayan. Tapos yung part na yan is mapupunta sa ibang organ. For example, heart, mapupunta siya dyan and magkakaroon ng tumor dyan. So, metastasis occurs when malignant cell travels through the blood or lymph vessels and invade other tissues or organ, forming a secondary tumor, which is ito nga, yun kinabit natin sa heart. So, yung differentiation naman is yung mga cell, syempre dahil nga may kanya-kanya silang function, dahil nasa iba't ibang part sila ng body, ibig sabihin, meron silang specialized tasks. For example, itong cell na to is sa lungs siya, edi pang respiratory yung function niya. Itong cell na to is pang gastrointestinal tract siya, edi pang digestion yung function niya. So, differentiation refers to the process whereby cells develop specific structures and function in order to specialize in certain tasks. So here we have classification of cancer. So first we have carcinoma. So yun yung mga tumor na nag-arise from epithelial tissue and yung name daw ng cancer is nag-identify ng location niya. Pag sinabing sarcoma, tumor siya na nag-arise sa supportive tissue and yung name din is from specific tissue din affected. Yung leukemia naman, malignant disorder siya ng blood-forming tissues na nasa, for example, bone marrow, spleen, lymph system, kung saan nagkakaroon ng unregulated proliferation of WBC or masyadong madaming WBC or masyadong konti. Pag lymphoma naman, group of malignant neoplasm siya na nag-a-affect sa lymphatic system. So, dito nagkakaroon ng proliferation of lymphocytes. Yung myeloma naman is cancer ng plasma cells. So, dito, we have benign and malignant. So, depende sa tissue type yung tawag. So, sa epithelial na benign, oma, kapag malignant, carcinoma, kapag glandular, ang benign is adenoma, sa malignant is adenocarcinoma, sa squamous is squamous papilloma, and sa malignant is squamous cell carcinoma. Kapag sa mesenchymal is oma, and sa malignant is sarcoma, katulad ng sa bone or osteo, sa benign na part is osteoma, sa malignant na part is osteosarcoma. Sa blood vessels and sa lymph vessels, we have hemangioma and lymphangioma sa benign na part. Sa malignant is angiosarcoma or lymphangiosarcoma. Kapag smooth muscle naman, sa benign is leiomyoma. Sa malignant is leiomyosarcoma. Sa smooth muscle naman, we have skeletal muscle naman, we have rhabdomyoma and rhabdomyosarcoma sa malignant na part. So, sa benign na cartilage is chondroma and sa malignant na cartilage is chondrosarcoma. Pag fat naman sa benign is we have lipoma and pag malignant is liposarcoma. So, here we have stages of tumor progression. So, sa hypertrophy, nag-i-increase yung size. Yung hyperplasia, nag-i-increase sa number. Yung metaplasia, yung nagkakaroon ng conversion kung saan yung dating cell na normal yung pattern niya, nagkakaroon siya ng differentiation into another part or another type ng cell na hindi naman normal para sa tissue na yon. So, parang ang other definition sa metaplasia is nire-replace sila ng cell na mas magaling mag-handle ng stress. Yung dysplasia naman is alteration sa shape, sa size, and sa appearance, and sa distribution ng cell. So, parang pumangit siya or nagbago yung organization niya or kung paano siya kung ano yung itsura niya dati. Yung anaplasia naman is halos lahat na pinagsama-sama, disorganized, irregular, walang structure, madaming differentiation, ayun, and almost malignant daw. So, pag nakita natin, anaplasia, matik na malignant siya. So, here we have pathogenesis of cancer. So, una, we have cellular transformation and rearrangement theory, kung saan yung mga normal cell is natatransform sila into cancer cells dahil sa exposure sa etiologic agents. Yung failure of immune system response theory naman is lahat daw ng tao ay merong cancer cells. Pero nare-recognize yun ng immune response system natin. Kaya yung mga cancer cells is nadedestroy sila agad. Kapag hindi na-destroy yung cancer cells na yon, ibig sabihin meron tayong failure of the immune response system. Kaya, nagkakaroon ng cancer cells. So, ayan. So, itong nasa taas, ayan yung mga nagkakos ng damage sa DNA natin. Kaya nagkakaroon ng cancer cells. Tapos itong sa baba, ito yung kung paano nagko-cope dapat yung katawan natin. Or kung paano dapat nagko-cope yung mga cells. Carcinogenesis, yun yung nagkaroon or nag-develop ang isang malignant tumor from a healthy tissue. Dahil sa complex series of events or iba't ibang factors na naka-apekto sa kanya. So, nag-i-start yun sa isang cell or single cell. And yung cell na yun is nag-acquire na malignant properties dahil nga sa DNA damage. So, yung carcinogenesis, multi-stage process siya at molecular level. So, natitrigger siya na action ng retrovirus oncogenes, which is included doon lahat ng RNA synthesis, cell division, or yung mga yon is na-disturb. Tapos, meron din tayo abnormal activity of protoncogenes or one-cellular oncogenes. Kapag sinabing oncogenesis, yun yung nag-start yung tumor or nag-initiate yung tumor. Kapag oncogenesis, yun yung maintenance and subsequent evolution. So, yun yung tuloy-tuloy na growth or tuloy-tuloy na development ng tumor. So, merong steps yung carcinogenesis. Yun yung EPL-P or imitation, promotion, latency, progression, and invasion. to neighboring organs. So, meron tayong TNM. Ginagamit to para sa classification, grading, and stages ng cancer. So, bakit nga ba tayo gumagamit ng TNM? Una, kasi tinutulungan tayo netong malaman kung ano yung best method of treatment. For example, sa mga early na cancer, resectable pa sila or operable. Pero kapag late na yung cancer, too advanced na sila para operahan pa, chemotherapy and radiotherapy na yung ginagamit. And help din tayo neto na i-assess yung prognosis ng cancer or kung gaano katagal yung survival rate and kung anong stage na, ganon. So, yung TNM system, ginagamit siya most commonly ng American Joint Committee on Cancer and Union for International Cancer Control. So, yung TNM system, overall staging siya ng cancer, which is merong letter na naka-assigned or number na naka-assigned sa to describe a tumor, which is yung T, tumor, N, node, metastasis, yung M. So, yung T, yun yung original or primary tumor. Yung N, yun yung kung nag-spread na ba sa mga lymph nodes. Yung M, yun yung metastasize or kung nag-spread na ba yung cancer in distant parts of the body. So, ito, inulit lang. And, so, yung nodes, yun nga yung kung spread na ba yung tumor sa lymph nodes. So, N is for wait pala. So, ito pala, naskipan natin. So, yung TX, yun yung hindi ma-evaluate yung primary tumor. Yung T0, walang cancer sa colon or rectum. Yung TIS, yun yung cancer in situ, or carcinoma in situ. Yung T1 to T4, yun yung size ng tumor. Kung nag-increase pa siya. So, ito yung sizing. So, yung TX, walang information. T0, walang evidence. TIS, carcinoma in situ. T1, ito yung 2 cm. T2 is 2 to 4 cm. T3 is more than 4 cm. And T4 is more than 4 cm. Tapos, may included na muscles, base of tongue or skin, natrum or thyroid. So, dito na ulit tayo sa nodes, which is kung nag-spread na nga yung tumor sa mga lymph nodes na nakapaligid sa kanya. So, N is for lesional lymph node. NX is cannot be assessed clinically. NO is no evidence. N1 to 4 is yung involvement ng nodes. So, sa N1, kung single lang ba, or ipsilateral and 3 cm. Pag N2, single, ipsilateral, 3 to 6 cm. N2B is multiple ipsilateral and more than 6 cm. N3 is massive, ipsilateral, bilateral, and collateral. N3A is ipsilateral nodes more than 6 cm. N3B is bilateral. N3C is contralateral. So, dito naman tayo sa distant metastasis or yung M. So, yung MX is cannot be measured yung metastasis. Yung M0 is hindi pa nag-spread sa other parts ng body. Yung M1 is nag-spread na sa other parts. So, meron tayong types of metastasis, extension and invasion, lymphatic spread, seeding of body cavities and surfaces, and hematogenous spread. So, dito din pinakita yung stages. So, kapag 0, benign or walang cancer. Yung stage 1 is nearby tissues pa lang. Yung 2 is 2 to 5 centimeters na may involvement na ng lymph node. Yung 3 is more than 5 centimeters na nag-spread na sa connective tissue, and yung 4 is nag-metastasize na talaga. So, ito yung samples. Ayan, 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 ayan. And here we have the metastasis. So, meron siyang 4 steps. So, una is nagsiseparate sa primary tumor. Pangalawa is nag-invade sa tissues. Nagpe-penetrate sa membranes nun. Pangatlo is nag-entry sa blood vessels and survival within blood or nag-spread sila via blood vessels. Tinatawag natin yung hematogenous spread. Kapag sa lymphatic naman or peritoneal cavity, tinatawag yung lymphatic spread kasi nag-spread sila through lymphatic channels. So, nare-reach nila yung mga organs such as lungs, liver, brain, bone. Nagpo-form sila ng mga bagong lesions along with new blood vessels para ma-feed yung tumor nila. So, here we have the differentiation between benign and malignant. So, sa cell characteristics, yung benign, nagre-resemble siya ng normal cell. And, kung saan nag-originate yung tissue. Pag malignant, yung cell is undifferentiated na siya. And, nagbe-bear na lang siya ng konting resemblance sa normal cell kung saan nag-arouse yung tumor na yon dun sa may tissue. Yung mode of growth sa benign is hindi siya nag-infiltrate ng surrounding tissues kasi encapsulated siya. And nag-grow siya through expansion daw. Sa malignant is nag-grow siya at the periphery, send-out process, nag-infiltrate and nagde-destroy ng surrounding tissue. So, yung rate of growth ng benign is slow. Yung rate of growth na malignant is depende sa level of differentiation niya. So, kapag mas anaplastic yung tumor, mas faster yung growth niya. Sa metastasize naman, sa benign, hindi siya nag-i-spread by metastasis. Yung malignant naman is nag-i-spread through blood, lymphatic channels, and nagme-metastasize siya sa other areas ng body mo. Yung general effects naman ng benign is localized phenomenon lang siya. Hindi siya nagkakos ng generalized effects and hindi siya interfere sa vital functions maliban na lang kung yung location is problem talaga. Sa malignant naman is meron siyang generalized effects katulad ng anemia, weakness, and weight loss. Yung tissue destruction naman sa benign is halos wala, pero pag yung location is nag-interfere sa blood flow, nagkakos yun ng tissue damage. Sa malignant naman is nagkakos ng extensive tissue damage kasi yung tumor, na-outgrow niya yung blood supply and na-enroach niya yung blood supply doon, blood flow doon sa area, kaya nagkakaroon ng cell damage doon. Yung cell ability to cause death, yung benign, hindi naman siya nagkakos ng death. Maliban na lang nga kung yung location niya is nag-interfere with vital functions. Yung malignant naman is nagkakos ng death talaga. Unless yung growth ay controlled. So, yung malignant process, meron tayong cell proliferation kung saan yun yung uncontrolled growth and ability to metastasize and destroy tissue and mag-cause ng death. Yung cell characteristics naman is presence of tumor, specific antigens, altered shape, structure, and metabolism. So, ito nga yung metastasis, lymphatic, hematogenous, angiogenesis, and carcinogenesis. So, sa lymphatic, yun yung pinaka-common. And, nagtatransport yung tumor cells through lymphatic circulation. So, tumor emboli, interstitial fluid, lymph channels. Ito yung sa mga breast tumors. Kasi, yung mga lymph channels nasa axillary, clavicular, and thoracic. Yung hematogenous spread naman, yung malignant cells are disseminated through the bloodstream since hema or blood. Nag-a-attach sila sa endothelium, nag-a-attract sila ng pyrin, platelets, and clotting factors para matago nila yung sarili nila from immune system surveillance. So, yung angiogenesis naman is yun yung nag-create sila ng new capillaries para ma-meet yung needs nila for oxygen and nutrients. Yung carcinogenesis naman is yung malignant transformation and meron siyang 3-step cellular process. Yun yung So, sa initiation, meron tayong carcinogen, which is yung nagtitrigger ng alteration ng DNA natin. So, yun yung mga chemicals, physical factors, biologic agents, and escaping normal enzymatic mechanisms. So, yung alteration is yun nga yung nag-initiate ng cell death dahil sa reverse na yung DNA or hindi na siya mare-repair. Tapos, nag-escape yun from death dahil sa mga mutations. So, hindi yun significant until the second step occurred. So, hindi naman daw pala siya, like, pwede mo hindi pansinin, maliban na lang kung magkaroon na ng second step, which is yung promotion. So, yung promotion, we have co-carcinogens or sila yung nagpropromote ng cancer agents. So, dito, nagkakos sila ng expression of abnormal mutant genes formation after long patency period. So, yung cellular proto-oncogenes is on switch sila para sa cellular growth. Nag-influence sila ng multiple growth factors na nag-stimulate sa cell proliferation. Yung proto-oncogenes, sila nga yung turn on or on switch, and yung cancer suppressor genes, sila yung turn off. Kapag yung cellular suppressor genes nag-mutate, nalulus nila yung regulatory capabilities nila, which is ito. Kaya nagkakaroon ng malignant cells. Yung progression naman, yun yung altered cells exhibit increased malignant behavior, and nagkakaroon sila ng invasion sa adjacent tissues and nagme-metastasize sila. Dito, meron ulit tayong carcinogenesis. Yung una is we have theory of immunosurveillance. Sinabi dito na kapag nag-fail yung immune system, hindi na eradicate yung mga abnormal cells. Sa pangalawa naman, we have malignant transformation resulting from damage to genetic material or DNA of the cell. So, sinabi dito na disturb yung mitosis and synthesis process. And nagkakaroon ng alteration sa DNA or sa cellular programs, kaya naggagawa sila ng bagong mga signal kung saan nagli-lead yun sa movement of cells and nagkakaroon ng invasion sa adjacent tissue and nagme-metastasize sila. Wait lang, highlight ko lang. Highlight ko lang po. Ayan. So, dito, sinabi din na yung changes is established siya ng, yung changes na na-establish ng cancer cell is napapasa sa mga daughter cells, kaya nagkakaroon ng mutation. Yung mga normal cell, nag-apoptosis sila kapag na-damage sila or nagpapakamatay yung mga cell na yon. Pero yung mga cancer cells, hindi nila yung ginagawa. Nabubuhay pa rin sila and nagtathrive. So, ito yung example ng carcinogenesis. Yan. Sa initiation, meron tayong carcinogen na nagkakos ng genetic change. And sa promotion, meron tayong co-carcinogen, which is nagpro-promote ng cancer. So, dito magkakaroon na ng cell multiplication, pero sa transformation, doon nagsa-start talaga yung genetics change na nagiging malignant na yung cell. Siyempre, kapag dumami yon, magkakaroon ng malignant tumor. Yun yung sa may progression. So, here we have detection and prevention of cancer. So, dito, sinabi lang na merong mga specific symptoms depende sa anatomic, functional, and characteristic ng organ or structure na naapektuhan. So, sa mechanical effects, we have pressure. So, yung mga tumor daw na nag-grow in confined areas, katulad ng bone, is nagpaproduce sila ng early pain. Pero yung mga tumor na nag-grow sa expandable area, undetected sila for some time, katulad ng sa abdomen. Kapag obstruction naman, for example, nakokompress yung tubular structures, katulad ng esophagus, bronchi, lymph channels, and nagkakaroon ng swallowing difficulties, shortness of breath, and edema. Kapag interruption of blood supply, nakokompress yung mga blood vessels. Kaya nagkakaroon ng diversion ng blood supply. Kaya nagkakaroon ng necrosis, ulceration, di kaya hemorrhage. So, sa assessment, we have systemic effects katulad ng anorexia, weakness, and weight loss, metabolic disturbances katulad ng malabsorption, fluid, electrolyte imbalances, increased ADH, ACTH, and thyrotropin and parathormone. So, here we have early detection and prevention ng cancer. So, meron tayong cautional. So, dyan, una is change sa bowel or bladder. A is sore na hindi nagaling. U is unusual bleeding and discharges. T is thickening of lymph or breast. I is indigestion or dysphagia. O is obvious wart or mole. N is cough or hoarseness. A is anemia. And L is weight loss na sudden. So, here we have primary and secondary prevention. So, primary prevention, re-reduce natin yung cancer risk in healthy people. So, wala ka pang cancer dito. Secondary prevention naman, detection and screening na, and early diagnosis and intervention. So, sa may secondary prevention, meron ka ng cancer, pero early stage pa lang. So, pwede pa nating agapan. So, nagkakaroon tayo dito ng great emphasis and sa primary and sa secondary prevention para maiwasan natin yung cancer. So, sa primary prevention, ina-avoid yung mga carcinogens, lifestyle, dietary changes para i-reduce yung cancer risk, and public and patient education. Sa risk factors taking steps to reduce cancer risk is syempre ni-increase natin yung consumption ng fresh veggies, lalo na yung cabbage family kasi meron silang RUHIG and vitamin-rich foods na nagpe-prevent ng CA. So, ini-increase yung fiber, ini-increase yung vitamin A na nakukuha natin sa carrots kasi yun yung beta-carotene. Nakaka-reduce yun ng risk ng esophageal, laryngeal, and lung cancers. Nag-intake din tayo ng mataas na vitamin C, katulad ng mga orange, ganyan. Kasi nagpo-protect yun sa stomach and esophageal cancer. Practice weight control, kasi yung obesity, link siya sa cancer ng uterus, gallbladder, breast, and colon. So, important din na i-reduce yung intake of dietary fat kasi yung high-fat diet is nag-increase sa risk ng breast, colon, and prostate cancers. Yung pag-practice din ng moderation ng consumption ng salt-cured, smoke, and nitrate-cured foods is linked sa esophageal and gastric cancers. Huwag din tayong manigarilyo kasi carcinogens yun. I-reduce yung alcohol intake kasi nagkakaroon yun ng risk for liver CA, and overexposure sa sun is skin cancer naman. So, dapat mag-wear tayo ng protective clothing, sunscreen. Iyon. So, sa secondary prevention, since meron na nga yung mga cancer na, meron na nga tayong mga patient na high risk para sa cancer, katulad ng may mga family history, ganyan. So, dapat meron breast exam, self-testicular exam, screening, colonoscopy, pap test, public and patient education. For diagnosis of cancer naman, we have tumor marker identification, MRI, CT scan, fluoroscopy, UTS, and endoscopy, nuclear medicine imaging, PET scan, immunoconjugates. Ito naman yung mga laboratory tests. So, acid phosphatase para sa prostate cancer, alpha-fetoprotein para sa liver and testicular, beta-HG test para sa testicular, CA125 para sa ovarian, CEA test para sa colorectal, estrogen receptor para sa breast, prostate-specific antigen para sa prostate cancer. So, ito yung sinabi lang din naman natin kanina, yung CEA, carcino-embryonic antigen siya. Para siya sa colorectal cancer. Dun sa mga taong may constipation, diarrhea, and bleeding piles palagi. Yung PSA naman, or prostate-specific antigen, yun naman yung para sa prostate cancer. Kapag meron kang mga prostate troubles, ito dapat yung i-take mong lab. So, yung CA 19.9 naman is para sa stomach cancer. Para sa mga taong may gastritis, abdominal pains, or gas. CA125 is for ovarian cancer. Para sa abnormal menstrual bleeding, abnormal pains. CA15.3 para sa breast cancer. AFP or alpha-fetoprotein para sa liver cancer. EVB or NPC screening is para sa nasopharyngeal cancer. So, ito naman yung cancer management, yung cure, ini-eradicate or tinatanggal completely yung malignant disease. Kapag control, pinaprolong lang yung survival or kinocontain lang yung cell growth ng cancer. Yung palliation, relief for symptoms lang. Yung surgical treatment, meron tayong diagnostic surgery kung saan definitive method siya para sa identifying ng cellular characteristics. Kunyari, yung mga kinukuha, yung mga polyps, mga cysts, tapos binabiopsy, ganun. Biopsy, excisional, needle, incisional, tumor removal, wide excision, local excision, prophylactic surgery, ito naman yung tinatanggal yung mga non-vital tissues or organs na pwedeng mag-develop ng cancer. Katulad nung si Angelina Jolie daw, since nagkaroon daw ng breast cancer yung mama niya, pinatanggal niya na yung breast niya kahit wala pa siyang cancer. Reconstructive surgery and palliative surgery. So here we have prophylactic surgery, which is yun nga yung tinatanggal na yung non-vital organ na pwedeng mag-develop ng cancer. So, dahil sa family history, genetic predisposition, presence or absence of symptoms, potential risks and benefits, ability to detect cancer at an early age, patient's acceptance, and post-operative come out. So, ito naman yung reconstructive. Pwede siya mag-follow after curative and radical surgery to attempt to improve the function or obtain more desirable cosmetic effect. Kunyari si Angelina Jolie, pinatanggal niya yung dada niya kasi may breast cancer yung mama niya before. Pwede niyang ipabalik yun for reconstructive surgery naman. So, yan, breast, head, neck, skin cancers. And sa palliative surgery naman, yun naman yung nire-relieve lang yung complication ng cancer, katulad ng ulceration, obstruction, hemorrhage, pain, and malignant effusion. Tapos, meron tayong indications for palliative surgical procedure. So, yung procedure ito, ditong part, yung indication dito, pleural drainage tube replacement, pleural effusion, peritoneal drainage tube replacement, or Tenkov catheter, ascites, abdominal shunt placement, Levine shunt, ascites din, pericardial drainage tube replacement, pericardial effusion, colostomy or ileostomy, bowel obstruction, gastronomy, jejunostomy, tube replacement or UGIT obstruction, biliary stent placement, biliary obstruction, bone stabilization, displacement of bone, fracture related to metastatic disease, excision of solitary metastatic lesion or metastatic lung, liver, or brain lesion, urethral stent placement, urethral obstruction, nerve block, pain, chordotomy, pain, venous access device placement for administering parental analgesics, pain, epidural catheter placement for administering epidural analgesics, pain, hormonal manipulation, removal of ovaries, testes, adrenal, pituitary, tumors that depend on the hormone for growth. So here we have treatment and modalities. So meron tayong surgery, radiation, bone marrow transplantation, chemotherapy, biologic response modifier. So sa surgery, yun yung primary treatment for CA. Pwede siyang i-perform by various purposes. So preventive, diagnostic, curative, and palliative. So, sa radiation, yun naman yung high energy of ionizing radiation. Tinitreat yun yung tumor. Dati, ginagamit siyang pampatay ng tumor, pang-reduce ng tumor size, and pang-relieve ng obstruction and decrease pain. Pero, nagkakos siya ng lethal injury sa DNA. Kaya, nadedestroy niya yung rapid multiplying cancer cells, pati yung mga normal cells nga lang. So, X-ray, gamma rays, radioactive particles. And yung radiation, meron siyang 3 safety principles or TDS or time, distance, and shielding. So, sa time, yun yung length of exposure mo. Miniminize yung time spent sa radiation for limit contact for 5 minutes each time. Total of 30 minutes per 8-hour shift. Yung distance naman is dapat minimum distance of 6 feet from radiation source. Yung shielding naman is uses lead shields or other precautions to reduce exposure to radiation. So, ito daw yung ginagamit. Yung TLD badge or thermoluminescent dosimeter, lightweight personal radiation monitor that responds accurately to beta, gamma rays, and neutron radiation. So, treatment modality, sources of radiation. Meron tayong external and internal. So, external teletherapy, internal brachytherapy or sealed. Sources of internal radiation is ini-implant daw sa affected tissue ng body or cavity. Ini-ingest as a solution. Ini-inject as a solution sa bloodstream or sa body cavity. Introduce through catheter into the tumor. Sinabing sealed, temporarily implanting sealed applicators lang na merong radioactive substance into various organs of the body. Kapag unsealed naman, ina-administer yung mga isotrope orally or by injection. So, yung sealed nasa loob talaga. Yung unsealed, parang hindi talaga implanted, ganun. Basta yung sealed kasi, nag-stay sa katawan mo since implanted nga siya. Yung unsealed, oral lang, tas by injection. Tapos, meron daw tayong side effects ng radiation therapy, yung skin reactions, erythema, dry or moist desquamation, necrotic or ulcerative lesions. Yung nursing responsibilities natin, syempre, i-observe yung signs ng reaction and i-report yun. Dapat dry yung area. Wash area with water, no soap, no ointment, no powders, no lotions. No, don't apply heat or cold packs. Avoid direct sunlight. Use cotton soft fabric for clothing. Do not erase markings sa skin kasi yun yung guide natin for irradiation. Yung infection naman dahil yun sa bone marrow suppression. So, ayan. Minomonitor yung blood count weekly. Good personal hygiene, nutrition, and adequate rest. Signs of infection, dapat i-report agad sa physician. So, sa hemorrhage naman, yung platelets kasi is vulnerable sila para sa radiation. So, minomonitor yung platelet count, ina-avoid yung physical trauma, tsaka yung paggamit ng aspirin. Tiniteach yung signs for hemorrhage. Minomonitor yung stool and skin for signs of hemorrhage. Direct pressure sa injection sites until the bleeding stops. So, sa fatigue naman is, fatigue naman is high metabolic demands for tissue repair and toxic waste removal. So, kailangan natin ng plenty of rest and good nutrition. Number 5 naman is fatigue to. Fatigue, hindi fatigue. So, syempre, kapag fatigue, pagod, kailangan ng madaming food and madaming waste para sa tissue repair. Madaming rest pala. Para sa tissue repair and sa toxic waste removal. Sa number 5 naman, meron tayong weight loss. Yun yung nagkukos ng anorexia, pain, and effect of cancer. So, diarrhea, nausea and vomiting, headache, cystitis, social isolation, alopecia. And yung alopecia, nagwe-wear ng wig, hat, bonnet, bandana, or scarf, or anything na pwedeng gamitin na sa headdress. Ini-inform natin yung patient na yung hair niya is mag-grow back naman after the chemotherapy. So, yung painless naman is, so, teaching guidelines regarding radiation therapy. Ang radiation therapy naman is painless. Hihiga ka lang daw ng very still sa special table. And pwede daw meron ding special position para daw sa maximize tumor irradiation. And each treatment daw is naglalas lang naman for a few minutes. Meron kang mahihear na mga sound ng machine being operated, and the machine may move during the therapy din. So, yung chemotherapy naman, or other term, anti-neoplastic drugs, anti-cancer, or cytotoxic drugs, yun naman yung used to describe drugs that kill cancer cells directly. So, nagpropromote sila ng tumor cell destruction by interfering with cellular functions and reproduction. So, hindi na nakakapag-reproduce yung mga cell dito. Hindi na din sila nagpa-function ng maayos. Principles of chemotherapy. Ang intent ng chemo is i-destroy yung mga as many tumor as possible. So, with minimal effect with healthy cells. So, ang therapeutic strategies is first adjuvant, employed after primary tumor has been removed. Yung cancer cells then is nagde-depend sila sa same mechanisms ng normal cells kung paano sila nagde-divide. Yung chemo agents is effective sila in one of the 5 phases of cell cycle. Ayan. So, meron din tayong combination kung saan nagko-combine tayo ng different agents para ma-enhance yung effectiveness nila. Yung induction naman is initial treatment kung saan merong advanced cancer na hindi na pwedeng ma-treat by other means. Neoadjuvant naman is initially used sa localized cancer para decrease yung tumor burden prior to treatment by other modalities. Yung goals ng chemotherapy treatment is syempre i-cure yung specific cancer, i-control yung tumor growth, mag-relieve ng symptoms caused by cancer, destroy yung microscopic cancer cells, i-shrink yung tumors bago mag-surgery or bago mag-radiation. So, contraindication sa chemotherapy is infection kasi magkakaroon ng immunosuppressive, recent surgery, retard healing process, impaired renal hepatic functions, hepatotoxic and nephrotoxic kasi yung chemotherapy, recent radiation therapy dahil nga sa immunosuppressive, pregnancy, magkakaroon ng congenital defects, bone marrow depression, nagkakaroon ng aggravation sa kondisyon dahil yung WBC is dapat within normal limits. So, ito daw yung body systems effect of chemo. So, nagkakaroon ng anxiety and depression, nagkakaroon ng hot flashes and menopause, nagkakaroon ng weak heart, nagkakaroon ng nausea and vomiting, nagkakaroon ng discolored and cracked nails, nagkakaroon ng mouth sores, nagkakaroon ng lower blood cell count, nagkakaroon ng digestive distress, nagkakaroon ng decreased urination, nagkakaroon ng loss of appetite, ng sexual dysfunction, ng skin sensitivity, ng red urine, ng bone loss, ng poor coordination, impaired muscles, and swollen hands and feet. So, sa gastrointestinal system, syempre nagkakaroon ng nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, and dapat daw ma-replace yung fluid and electrolyte losses, low fiber diet para ma-relieve yung diarrhea, high fluid intake, high fiber diet kapag mayroon namang constipation, and administration ng antiemetic drugs as ordered kasi nga yung mga chemotherapy is nagkakos sila ng nausea and vomiting. Integumentary system naman, nagkakaroon ng pruritus or pagkati ng skin, urticaria, and dapat tayo mag-practice ng good skincare, i-observe yung anaphylactic reaction, nagkakaroon din ng stomatitis, kaya dapat tayo mag-provide ng good oral care, avoid hot and spicy foods, nagkakaroon din ng skin pigmentation, and dapat natin inform yung client na temporary lang yon. Kakaroon ng alopecia, i-reassure na pwedeng magsuot ng headdress katulad ng wigs and hat kasi temporary lang naman yon. Nail changes, i-assure natin yung client na mag-grow naman ulit yung nails nila normally after chemo. Hematopoietic system, anemia. Kapag may anemia, dapat frequent rest periods. Kapag mayroon neutropenia, dapat protect natin sila from infection and avoid other people na may infection. Thrombocytopenia is dapat i-avoid natin sila sa trauma and avoid aspirin kasi nga mababa yung platelets nila. Genitourinary system, meron tayong hemorrhagic cystitis, dapat umiinom lang ng 2 to 3 liters of fluids per day. Monitor INO, input and output. Assess for monitor urinary output pala to. Assess for urinary frequency, urgency, and monitor BUN and creatinine. So, dito naman sa reproductive system, nagkakaroon ng amenorrhea or hindi nagkakaroon ng menstrual period and decreased libido para sa mga lalaki. Yung neuromuscular system naman is nagkakaroon ng paresthesia, hearing loss, or blurring of vision. Kailangan nating malaman kung mayroong tingling sensation sa toes and sa fingers. Muscle weakness, ini-evaluate natin yon. and peripheral nerve damage, and kailangan natin yung i-report. So, meron tayong classification of chemoagents. So, first, we have alkylating agents. Yung action nito is nag-interfere siya with DNA and RNA growth. So, ito yung mga example niya. Yung adverse effects is nausea, vomiting, alopecia, hemorrhagic cystitis, thrombocytopenia, and myelosuppression. So, ang considerations natin dito is monitor CBC, 2 to 3 liters of water, hair loss, reassurance, antiemetic drugs kung in order, and hypersensitivity reactions sa drugs na ibibigay natin. Antimetabolites naman is very similar daw siya to normal substance tests within the cell. So, ang action nito is ina-attack nila yung cell at a very specific phase ng S phase, kung saan na-inhibit yung cell reproduction by interfering with the manufacturing of protein. Example ng antimetabolites is ito. And ang adverse effect niya is nausea, vomiting, stomatitis, thrombocytopenia, diarrhea, myelosuppression, alopecia, renal and hepatic dysfunctions, and neuropathy. Yung antimetabolites, ito yung mga considerations para sa kanya. Assess or monitor liver function, CBC, BUN, CREA, provide oral hygiene, and administer antiemetic drugs as ordered. So, yung anti-neoplastic antibiotics naman is ito, nag-interfere sila with DNA by stopping the enzymes and mitosis and altering the membrane surrounding the cell. Nagwo-work sila in all phases of cell cycle. Ito yung mga example. And adverse reactions is nausea, vomiting, stomatitis, myelosuppression, thrombocytopenia, renal and hepatic dysfunction, alopecia. Ang nursing considerations ay hydration, monitor lab test, antiemetic, and oral care. Ulit-ulit lang naman. So, yung plant alkaloids naman is derived from certain plants. So, syempre, plant nga eh. Vinca alkaloids is made from periwinkle plants, and katulad ng Catharanthus rosea. Yung taxanes naman is made from bark of Pacific yew tree. Taxanes ba? Taxus. Bark of Pacific yew tree taxus. Then we have Podophylotoxins. Podophylotoxins derived from mayapple plant. Campoteca acuminata is derived from Asian happy tree. So, ang action ng plant alkaloids is ina-attack nila yung cell during various phases ng cell division, lalong-lalo na sa M phase, or tinatawag din silang mitotic inhibitors. Ito yung mga example nila, and yung adverse effect nila is diarrhea, neuropathy, alopecia, stomatitis, pain in the IV site. Tapos, ito yung mga consideration, hydration, avoid handling pointed breakable objects, reassure that the hair will grow after the therapy, mouth care, and observe IV site. We have hormone modulators then. Yung action nila is, yung una is natural hormones. Yun yung mga drugs na useful in treating some types of cancers, katulad ng corticosteroid. Sex hormones is na-alter yung production ng female or male hormone. And ini-inhibit nila yung growth ng breast, prostate, and endometrial lining. So, may katulad ito yung mga example nun. Yung opioid analgesic naman is nagre-relieve ng pain, moderate to severe. Yung agonist, yun yung drugs na nagproproduce ng analgesia by binding to CNS opiate receptors. And ito yung drug of choice para sa severe chronic pain. Ito yung may example niya. Yung agonist and antagonist naman, agonist-antagonist, is nagproproduce ng analgesia by binding to the CNS receptors din. And limited use lang to para sa mga patient na may chronic pain kasi many will have ceiling effect or upper dosing limit. Ito yung examples niya. So, contraindications dito is severe respiratory depression katulad ng COPD, renal and hepatic impairment, head injuries, katulad ng mga conditions na nag-raise ng ICP. Yung nursing management naman, syempre, iti-check mo muna kung nagtitake ba sila ng CNS depressant katulad ng barbiturate. And yung pangalawa naman, during the administration, check mo yung vital signs and watch for respiratory depression. Adverse effect nito is nausea and vomiting, constipation, respiratory depression, hypotension. And yung non-opioids naman, non-opioids analgesic, nagmamanage ng mild to moderate pain, katulad na itong mga to. Ang adverse effect naman nila is ni-inhibit nila yung platelet aggregation, IgI, irritation, nephrotoxicity, headache, liver damage. And ang nursing management is dapat kakain muna or inom muna ng water para ma-minimize yung GI upset. Dapat nakatayo lang for 15 to 20 minutes para maiwasan yung esophageal irritation. Notify doctor kapag naka-experience ng gastric burning or pain. Avoid injury na magkakos ng bleeding kasi yung NSAIDs nag-increase ng bleeding time. Ask client if experiences persistent tinnitus para ma-reverse yung dose. And exercise caution kapag nagtitake ng ibuprofen and naproxen kasi nagkakos yun ng dizziness. And bawal gamitin when driving or using machinery. And dapat meron ding periodic blood test yung client para ma-detect yung possible nephro or hepatotoxicity.